Good morning. A little bit of silliness for you, double silliness for you today. You may remember last week sometime we delved into what was formerly known as the Bowl of Plenty, but is now called GOD.
It's the London Stadium because it's the bowl, but some people said it should have been the Bowl Inn.
It should have been the Bowl in. Oh, gets better. That's because they're clever. Anyway, here's the idea. It's boring times. It's international break. Your silly questions have been put into that bowl. I've got to be honest with you, Gio. I like the ones where I'm the manager. I think I'm a bit power crazed, or there's something going on. I think I need
It's a
some
power
analysis.
trip, innit?
It is a power trip. Later on today, over on the main channel, will be part 2 of this, which we've already recorded. So we're already sort of in the flow. So I'm going to sit back in my managerial chair, and Gio is going to pick from the Bowl of Plenty the bowl in. Tell us.
Right, well, question number 1. You can tell it's international break, can't you? Anyway, question number 1. Oh, it is a manager question for you. It is a virtual manager question.
Yeah.
Right, Mr. Gonzo. You need to raise 50 million. Who are you selling? Players.
Who am I selling? Well, the obvious answer, the normal circumstance, would be 5 Jordan Hugels, but you can't do that. 50 million. Who am I selling? Oh, that's a really good one. That's a really, really good one. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you I'm selling. Oh, I'm the manager, though.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I'm the manager. I hope I get to spend this 50 million. Are you the chairman? Who's written this question? Do you know?
I just made it up myself.
Oh, did you? Oh, right. So you're the chairman.
I thought I can stitch Gonzo up in a video, and I thought here's one.
Mr. Chairman, I better get these bloody funds. I better get these funds. Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get we'll get Sufal. I get about 5 million for him. Sell Suchek. What's that? How much do you reckon you get for him? Don't say
20
tuppence.
million.
Okay,
20 million.
20 million. God, dear. I'm having to sell a lot of players here.
Yeah, you're not gonna have much players left. You're.
Well, I'm going to reinvest this money. I know some tasty players down in the conference. Don't worry about that. Connor Coventry for 5 million. So I'm up to about 30 million.
Bit of a stretch, but yeah, go
I
on
don't
then.
know. He's good, Coventry. He's good. There's nothing wrong with him. We haven't got many players left, have we? How much you buy Emerson for?
13.
I'll sell Emerson. And
I'll give you 15. I'll be kind.
Cheers. And I'll sell Cresswell as well. There you go.
Yeah, so you got no players left, but you've raised the 50 million.
I don't want to sell any of the big boys, you know.
Yeah, but you could have sold Masuaku and Vlasic and raised 20 million there.
Oh, you cheeky Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I thought you were going to take that money off me anyway.
So I mean, Masuaku's buzzing. He's back in the squad now. He just sold both left backs. He's getting recalled.
What?
You just said you're going to sell Cresswell and Emerson.
This is true. Arthur's coming back.
He's got a route back into the team.
I always knew he was the answer.
Yeah, of course you did. Anyway, question number 2. It's a bit managerial, a bit more opiniony. I'll go for the opinion aspect. The academy players.
Yeah.
Are they simply not good enough, or are they not getting played enough?
Okay, bit of both.
A serious topic.
Yeah, it's a bit of a serious topic. I think there's a bit of both going on. When I watched the game against Arsenal, I think with the exception of Ekwa, it was playing for the under-21s, whether you could consider him to be, because we bought him in, didn't we? So whether you can consider him to be an academy player, I guess it's neither here nor there. Almost everybody Arsenal had looked to be a level above ours. And I know it's fashionable to say that now because Arsenal have got a 15-year-old and, you know, made his debut in the first team, but it didn't strike me as them were good enough. But let's get this right. We are getting serious now. We did have someone who I thought was good enough, it's Sonny Perkins, and he's gone and scored a hat trick the other day, you know, and he's played so well. I think Ashby's probably good enough. So I think there's some of them don't look good enough, but we've lost loads of them from that. So that under-21 team probably wasn't reflective as good as it should have been. So I think the ones that are good enough probably don't get played enough.
So a bit of both. You're sitting on the fence.
No, I'm just telling
I agree with you, to be honest with you. I do agree. I think there's maybe one or two that is good enough. But I often think that I know people say, well, who's left and gone on to prove us wrong? But I think that's too literal. I think sometimes you have to take everything into consideration, which is their training, which is who's coaching them, which is they're getting into the first team, their development, so on and so forth. And there's examples of young players in the Premier League today that were perhaps on the verges of leaving their club, and then they got into the first team, stayed in first team, and gone on to be a really good player. And do you think, well, what happens if that player had moved to a League One side, for example? Would they have ever kicked on? Probably not. So I do think it's too black and white to say, well, who's left West Ham that's from the academy is going on to have a good career? Who have we missed out on? I think it's not that simple. So if they'd stayed at West Ham, going to the first team a couple of years ago before they left, they would have probably gone on to become a better player. I do think there is that.
I agree. I think everyone's looking for a superstar. The superstar example is obviously John Terry, who left our academy at 14. So there's a superstar example. But even someone like Liam Ridgewell, like Stanislas, like Leon Britton, if they'd have stayed at West Ham, they possibly would have played 150, 200 games for us and at first team level. And that's still a good player, right? You don't have to be John Terry, you know what I mean? So I think we have, and there are a few others as well that have left the academy and gone on had good professional careers.
London Stadium, question 3 says, any Premier League player to West Ham, a realistic one and an unrealistic one, who would you bring in?
I really like Elise. Every time I see him play, I just think he's a really, really good. That's a realistic one, by the way. I think we're allowed to say a signing from Crystal Palace is a realistic one, whether it's particularly in a position that we need, I don't know, but he would bring some creativity. I think actually a lot of the time when we're misfiring in terms of delivery, he is really good at getting the ball. He would get a lot out of Skamaka, and also I think we can be really hit and miss on our set plays as well. And I think he'd be a really good acquisition, would sort us out. Unrealistic one would have to be a really, really good left back. I think Joe, I actually said it when I thought he was at Brighton, and I said it in the start of the season. I said bring Cucurella, and you said you can't have him. It's before he'd signed. He's a £50 million player, and I said no, he's not. And then he turned out to be a £50 million player. But I thought he was realistic. Now he's unrealistic. Maybe it'll be my unrealistic one. I really like him. I think he's a really good footballer.
I've handpicked this one out the ball next. I've gone through them to find this exact question because I like it. And David Moyes leaves today, and you have to hire either.
Yeah,
not you. Alan Pardew, Slaven Bilic, or Manuel Pellegrini. Which one are you hiring?
Oh, so I'm chairman now.
Yeah, you're chairman now. You've got to hire one. Well, you're not. You're sporting director. You've got Mark Noble's job before Mark Noble comes in on the 2nd of January.
Okay, all right.
So, who are you hiring out of them 3?
Well, I'm thinking of sacking some more people first, Geo, to be perfectly honest with you. Well, anyway, once I've done that, so I'm sat in, redecorated the office, got me chairing, feet are under the table.
Repaired the wall from episode 2.
Absolutely. These tantrums, they happen. I'd probably do, first of all, I'd probably go into the dressing room. I'd probably run the player. I've got a dressing room myself. I'd run the players' bath, put a load of Mr. Matey in there, big old bubble bath. I'd sit in, relax in the bath, have a good think about it. Order some food in, and I would probably. I would bring in Slaven Bilic.
Would you?
I would. I'd bring in Slaven Bilic, and I'd say, Slav, get in the bath, but not too close. I'll be over.
You can have a tap end.
That's exactly that.
You're up at the taps.
More bubble bath, please. It'd be like a servant coming over with a bubble bath. Probably be Mark Noble. He's serving his apprenticeship for his sporting director. Pour more bubbles in there, please, Mark. I'd say, right, Slav, scrub me toast. No, I'm joking. I say, Slav, you need to get the best out of this Paqueta fella, because he's got all the tricks, all the flicks. He's got the full Brazilianos. I don't mean like a wax. He's the full Brazilian. This
I'm about to say, discover if Slav did or not as well.
Yeah, but I've been here with me razor. I don't know. I'm not sure how they run it, but razor blade or waxing.
Yeah, but Not Manscaped, because they don't sponsor us anymore.
No, not man. No,
They've
absolutely
gone out
not.
the window.
Yeah, any trimmer will do. Other trimmers are available. And I'd probably say, can you get the best out of this fella, please? Can you make that happen? And also, can you buy some more strikers? Because when you start losing the game and you want to chuck on 1,000 strikers, we've really only got 2, and one of those you think's a right back anyway. So so off you go, Slav. Grab a towel. Send Alan in a minute. I have to tell him the bad news.
Lovely. Right. Next question. I can't remember who asked this. This was a question from somebody on a previous episode. By the way, you're watching this, thinking I've got some silly questions for London Stadium. Please put them in the comments below. I'll write them down, throw them in, and in the next episode, not the one on the main channel later tonight, we've already done that one, but the one in probably during the World Cup when we're really scraping the barrel for content. This London Stadium is going to be getting used a lot, so we're going to need lots of questions.
I'm just wondering. I'm not quite brave enough to list this video. As I had a bath with Slav and Bilic.
You should do. Get a nice thumbnail, a nice big bubble bath with you and Slav's heads on it. And...
Shall I do it?
Yeah, do it.
A bath with Slav. I'm gonna do it. I'm wondering how many. It's either going to get like 30 views or 30,000 views. I'm going to do it.
Just do it. You've got to do it. Anyway, 1-0 down at halftime. What's your team talk to the current squad? So you're in charge. The team that played against Everton, we're 1-0 down at halftime. What's your team talk? What are you saying?
At Everton.
Well, we're losing 1-0 against Everton, but yes,
so in the last game, right? I'll go in and say, you bunch of muppets. You've got Moisey, and you lot are not allowed to call him Moisey, by the way. All right, because you don't like it. You're not that close.
I think you're the manager. I think Moisey's gone. You're in charge.
I'm saying you lot got Moisey the sack. All right, you've been absolute crap. It's not been a start of the season. You've been crap for months now. You've had a nice break over the summer. You've all got you're all driving your club cars, your Vauxhall Corsas. That's not going to mean anything to you now. You have to watch the next video later on, right? I'm treating you nice, all right? You got a nice go, but quite frankly, it ain't good enough. This place, Goodison Park's like a morgue, right? All you had to do was rock up here today, play a bit of tippy tappy stuff, keep it quiet. The natives would have been moaning, all right, Everton are losing again, or whatever, right? That's how I mucked up the accent. Granted, right? That's what I would have been saying. You get out there and you come in at half time, 1-0 down, pathetic. Right, I'd say you're off. I don't have probably got any players left because I sold them all for 50 million, but whatever. The youth team, get on, right? The rest of you, go and do 2 laps round the edge. You're going to go and warm up in front of the Everton. You're going to go and warm up in front of the West Ham fans. Do your stretches in front of there. Go and say sorry to them. And I'll tell you what, if you don't win this game, you're going to travel home on the club coach back to Hornchurch. Get out there now. Get out, as they will, each one. Snap them as they go out.
There you go. Are you confident that I will get a result?
Definitely.
As well as a tribunal for you.
I say he's taken away our sports cars, right? He's making us run round the outside of the pitch. He's doing terrible Scouse accents. We've got to get this guy out. But you know, the owners.
Pablo Fanals are saying, Declan, who's this Ryan Giggs he's going to send round to my house?
Absolutely. Again, you probably have to watch the next video. That's it. But Pablo would also be saying, but I had a lovely bit of dinner around Gonzo's house the other night. Stuart Pearce was there. Brian Clough was there. Well, again, this is not going to mean anything until later.
Declan will say, well, it wasn't as good as the one I had around Geo's house.
It was a miracle.
Last question for this episode is the player that we were linked to in the summer you wish we signed. Someone we were linked to the summer that you wish we actually went and bought, as well as all the other ones. So it's like an additional signing, a 9th major signing.
I'll tell you now. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you straight away. And that would be there's these. You know, there's a lot of superstar ones. I think Wan-Bissaka would have done it. I think having Wan-Bissaka in there would have made a bit of a difference. I think you can look at direct goals that have come from down that side of the pitch. I think we would have more points on the board if we'd have signed him. I don't know if Onana would have made any difference. I don't know if Zielinski would have been. And then I actually don't tell anyone, Geo. But I actually think Breuer might have been a better buy than Scamacca. Right? I wouldn't say that out loud, so as
No,
people
of
could
course
hear
not.
it.
That would be silly.
But I'd still go solid right back that's pacey and can defend, a bit like myself, as we described in the other video. Yeah. Well, but are you getting away with all this scot-free? How come I'm answering everything? I've just realised.
I don't know. You're the man.
I just realised you're sat there asking everything. You've not answered anything hardly.
The player I wish we signed would have been David Varm, the left back, the Germany's left back. I just think we had an opportunity to really invest in that side this summer, that position this summer, and I think we did. But we only went halfway. I think Emerson might go on and become a good player for us. I think he'll have good games. I think he'll have a few stinkers, and he's literally already cost us goals. He's only about 5 games into his West Ham career, and already there's a game where he's single-handedly allowed us to concede a goal. So I think a substantial left back would have been the one I wanted. I thought you were going to go for Ward-Prowse, in all honesty. I thought that's who you were going to say. I thought, oh yeah, someone that can give the ball to Paqueta in the middle of the pitch next to Declan Rice, and that's what. He's not in the England squad tonight, Ward-Prowse. Have you seen that? Bowen's not in it either.
Oh, come on. Gareth Southgate's got a sack in to try and get closer towards.
Yeah, but it's wild. And while I can understand the Bowen one to some extent, and the one I can't understand is Tomori. Tomori's not in the squad tonight. No. It's just ridiculous.
It's a favourites thing. Do you know what? I think there should let's be serious for a second. There really should be some value to going abroad and going overseas and learning a new league.
But this is why English players won't do it, because out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I think he's got it all wrong. I think those players are really enriching, well, everything, not just their footballing lives, learning a new language, culture, all the stuff. Yeah, tomorrow's really to go out into that league and be outstanding in that league, in that position, by the way. That's the one that's under most scrutiny in that league, because it's known as a defensive league.
And win it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. He's a funny one. Well, look, Ward-Prowse, I guess he wasn't going to play anyway, but
he'll be on the plane. This is where it's bonkers. He will probably be in the World Cup squad, but he's not in the squad tonight. Yeah, Jordan Henderson is in the squad tonight, who wasn't even in the team initially. He wasn't even in the squad.
He loves him. He loves him.
Yeah, but it's just bonkers. It is absolutely bonkers. It's a bit like Ivan Toney wasn't even on the bench for the Italy game. Why is he? Why have you called him up then?
That's why. Neither was I.
Oh, brilliant. Shall we leave it there, my friend? Yeah, otherwise, we're going to sit here for 10 minutes ranting about England. I don't even know why I'm ranting about England. I don't even support them.
Hey, he lives here now. He's one of us.
No, I think it's just because I could see a big pool of talented players and a manager very similar to our one, doing things very similar to our one.
Well, as long as they stay out of my pool, mate. With me and Slav in there.
Yeah, you and Slav in there.
Right. Anyway, that's it. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this. I was going to say this sea of silliness, but with a little island of seriousness in the middle when we were discussing the youth team players who incidentally would not be invited into the bath. That would just be wrong. It's all wrong. Pardew in the bath's wrong. Bilic in the bath is wrong. Just please remember, there was never any bath. Anyway, Geo, thank you very much. Don't forget to tune in later on. When, Geo, roughly? 6 o'clock?
5 o'clock. It's always 5 o'clock.
Oh, I don't know. 5, 6 o'clock. All the same thing to me. Anyway, tune in for that. You'll see part 2, which is actually part 1 of selecting from the bowl of plenty. I think I'll end on that.